So, good morning, everyone. On behalf of SACON EACP Resource Partner, South India Center of Wildlife Institute of India, I welcome you all for this webinar, Urban Wetlands and its Struggle for Survival, a case study of Panvel and Kharghar. This webinar is organized as part of Mission Life for Wetlands Campaign. Mission Life, that is Lifestyle for Environment, was introduced by Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi at COP26 in November 2021. The Lifestyle for Environment is an initiative to promote sustainable living by changing individual lifestyles. MOFCC's Mission Life for Wetlands is a one-month campaign that focuses on the 4 themes: Our Wetland, Our Pride, Action for Wetlands, Youth Engagement, and Wetland Celebration in order to create awareness on lifestyle actions that can bring positive change, encourage stakeholder and youth action, promote hands-on activities for wetlands, and celebrate Ramsar sites. Moreover, it is a people's movement to celebrate, revive, and rejuvenate wetlands. With this brief note, I take this opportunity to introduce the resource person of today's webinar. We have with us Mrs. Jyoti Nadkarni, who is an environmentalist, social worker, and homemaker. Thank you, madam, for accepting our invitation in a short duration. It's a great pleasure for us to have you as a resource person. Let me give a brief introduction about her. Jyoti ma'am has worked as an animal welfare officer in Bombay Society for the prevention of cruelty to animals, including BSI Sakrabai Dinsha Petit Hospital for Animals, and human education officer affiliated to Animal Welfare Board of India and RSPCA London from 1993 to 2002. She was a chairperson for Friends of City Park Committee of Nature Kenya, Nairobi from 2009 to 2012 and Kenya Women's Society in 2015. She actively involved in birding, bird ringing, bird and nature photography since 2006. She was a member of Ghana Planetarium Society from 2013 to 2015. She has initiated tree plantation drives, dry waste management and recycling nature trail project in collaboration with Forest Department and NGOs to achieve Kharghar, a zero dumping ground city. She has actively involved in surviving wetlands with Raigad Wetland Committee. She has received many more awards while working on the conservation of wetlands, such as Navadurga Award in 2021, Nari Shakti Purashkar Award in 2022 on Women's Day. She did a 3-month Green Fellowship program of Project Mumbai in collaboration with Ministry of Mumbai Magic in 2021. She organized the first Flamingo Festival of Navi Mumbai on 14th May on the occasion of World Migratory Bird Day to create awareness among citizens about importance of flamingos and their habitat with Kharghar Wetlands and Hills, Save Navi Mumbai Environment, NatConnect Foundation. She regularly conducts nature trails and nature-related activities with community members and students in collaboration with Forest Department and iNature Watch Foundation. With this, I welcome you once again, ma'am. Now the session is yours. You can start the session. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, ma'am. Thank you to Golden sir also for giving me the opportunity to present our work here.
Meeting organize
I didn't get something was told.
No, I think.
No, now it's fine, ma'am. You can.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So to present our part on the work we are doing in Kharghar. Kharghar is also a very beautiful stretch. In fact, we should say that Kharghar has been blessed with different kind of habitats. Not only wetlands, but we have another 4 or 5 different kinds of wetlands which surrounds Kharghar and makes it into a very unique city compared to the other cities of Navi Mumbai. Kharghar has hills on one side, freshwater ponds and lakes and marshes on one side towards the hill. And on the other side, it is surrounded by the intertidal zone, the coastal areas of mangroves and the wetlands. So in together, we have marshy lands, we have rocky terrain, we have swamps. It's a complete plethora of biodiversity found in Kharghar with all kinds of biodiversity, right from flora to fauna, different kinds of birds from aquatic, marine life, to forest dwellers, to rocky, to grasslands and shrubs, animals and creatures, everything you find in Kharghar. So I'm very happy to present to you about the small, whatever we could, our efforts in Kharghar to save the remaining habitats which we have in this today's world of modern development. Can you see my screen
Yes, ma'am, the front one, the first one.
and the wordings?
No, ma'am.
Okay. I'll just check it out. Just 2 minutes. Just give me 2 minutes.
Okay, ma'am.
Hello. Good morning, everybody. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Yeah. If there is a problem with the slides, if you can share the PPT, I think we could handle it from SACON.
Yes, sir.
You could
Yes,
just send it
sir.
on WhatsApp.
She tried to share it in mail, but actually the images are of high resolution, so it is getting delayed. The PPT is getting,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Good morning.
Ma'am, you received it?
Yes, ma'am, we received, ma'am. We are going to share now.
Okay. Sorry for this technical.
No, it's okay. It's technology is evolving, so it will happen.
And I'm not a very techno person.
Ma'am, alternately, I would suggest you could start talking. So, as the slides come, they could be rolled on. Because I know you're a very eloquent speaker. You don't need slides. You need to be muted, unmuted.
Yeah. What I'll do is, in the meantime, I'll just give you a brief description about the Kharghar and the team. We are here working on Kharghar wetlands. We actually a team called as Kharghar Wetlands and Hills because we cover both the habitat. And here in Kharghar, I'm supported by Naresh Chandra Singh and Taran Sareen along with few other members. But we three are very active, and there is a very good vigilance about the habitat, what is happening around in and around Kharghar, in the wetlands. Tarang is a geologist who is also an ardent birder. He's studying his PhD. He's doing his PhD in geologist. And Naresh Chandra Singh was supposed to join me for the presentation, and he was an IT person. And maybe this wouldn't have been the scene today if he was here, but he was traveling, and due to which I have to present this alone. So he does a lot of coordination with the maps and mapping, and we do a lot of work in checking the habitat along with the local administration. The problems we face over here is especially with the intertidal and coastal wetland, which is still under SIDCO. It has not been transferred yet. These wetlands are still under SIDCO, and because it is under SIDCO, there are mangroves, there is forest areas, there are wild animals, which cannot be directly intervened by forest department until unless there is some threat to the wildlife or mangroves. In that case, the locals are free to go move in and around the wetlands. So this sometimes causes threats to the wetland. You will see in the slides the types of threats we are facing for these wetlands in terms of debris dumping, reclamation, making of bunds, creating aquaculture in wetland area. This particular wetland, what I'm talking about is, it's a stretch from sector 10 in Kharghar to sector 16 to 25 to 27, 28 up to village Panchnanda. and this falls under CRZ1 area. So it becomes all the more reason to secure it, to save it. Are the slides ready, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. You're not able to see the slide.
Yeah.
It's already shared.
Right?
It's already shared, no?
No, I can't see it.
Others?
Yeah, we can able to see.
We can change the first slide with the title is on. I think
Yeah.
we can go to the next slide.
Yeah, we can just go to the next slide.
Okay. It's visible, ma'am?
Yes. So this is what I mentioned you. These are the type of wetlands other than the hills we find in Kharghar. The freshwater wetland, seasonal wetland, marsh, swamp, intertidal wetlands, coastal, and man-made. There is one big man-made wetland which provides water to a few villages around, especially Ove village, Golwadi village, and it's a tribal village which is called Katkariwadi. So this is a very important wetland. The first picture, if you see, very scenic, very beautiful. So this is Ove Dam. It's called as Ove Dam. Next slide now. Now this image, it's a map whereby one area where you see the blue marks which are running around. Which are running around this side. If you from Pandavkada down towards Central Park, and this flows to the mangroves. Now the problem is Pandavkada, this side is a seasonal wetland. Pandavkada is a very huge waterfall in Kharghar. It is very iconic to Kharghar. People do come for a lot of trails here. It's 107 feet high waterfall. And this waterfall gives a good amount of water which runs down the lane through Central Park, through sector 24, 34. If you follow the lines of the blue water bodies, which is going right up to the mangroves in 26. So these were actually very open and free flowing once upon a time, right up to 2000s, 2003. But as development came in, these started to be reclaimed. Most of the water bodies are now buried under the new constructed road, under some building. Some of them are still there, but then there is a fear of BKC coming up because some of them passes through the Central Park second zone, second phase, where we are expecting the new BKC to come. On the extreme, on the upper side, if you see, there are 2-3 more water bodies, 2 big water bodies and one very small water body, which you can see. Now, one which is right below Northern Kharghar wetland name is actually the Ove Dam, which you saw first. You'll see the correct image in the further slide. This is the freshwater wetland, and it is all surrounded by hill. In the middle of a small wetland, next to the small wetland, is the Taloja Hill. It is another part of my project, which I'm looking after along with the Forest Department since 2016, and since 2019 it is under CSR now. Now this is a part of the water catchment area. Because of the hill, there is a lot of water flows from both the side, and the water from this wetland goes to Taloja Hill Pond, then further Ganesh Ghat, and to the third bigger wetland, what you see. I've given you more in the further slide. So this is one part of the freshwater and seasonal wetland. The next slide. So this is the Ove Dam, which I was talking about. Next. This is Taloja watershed. Now on the extreme right of the picture, extreme left of the picture is the hill, which is right after the Ove Dam. So everything is interconnected. It is like Ove Dam here, and then there is the hill, then this small Taloja jail watershed, and then the stretch goes up. It's all under one line of water catchment. So this is Taloja jail watershed pond. Now the problem is in the second slide. If you see, there is all water. Okay, now this is another slide. This water comes out at times. It overruns the road, and further down it joins to Ganesh Ghat and Sector 36 wetland. Now you can see a trench over there next to the water. In the second slide, you can see a big trench being dug in the second part of the water body. Now this, when we keep telling SIDCO that this water body needs to be improved, it has to be increased in size because the water capacity of this, the holding capacity of this pond is very low. And we actually waste a lot, thousands of liters of water every monsoon. Because what I have noticed is this area particularly has a lot of rainfall. And within no time in June, on the third and the fourth day of rainfall, this pond, which becomes half of the size by May, fills up to the brim. And within 15 days, it is overflowing. So what they do is they dig up a trench. If you see in the second picture, there is a big trench. So they dig up this trench, and that trench is directed to the drain. So imagine there are thousands and thousands of liters of fresh water going down the drain, where one side we are doing Jal Shakti mission and Save Water mission, and one side this rainwater is going, the fresh water is going down the drain. The other slide now. Next slide. Yeah. So this is the continuation. No, we go back. Yeah. This is the continuation of what we saw, Taloja jail. Ahead, we could see some green patch. So that green patch consists of this particular wetland, which is called Ganesh Ghat. And these are the birds, what we see there. We have bronze-winged jacana, we have purple swamp hen, egrets, herons, kingfishers, then warblers. There are babies. There are babies of these birds. So this is a resting. These are roosting and nesting site for both these aquatic birds. Further, we also have open bill spotted here during migratory season. Next slide now. So this is another continuation of the same line, which is called Kutuk Bandhan Wetland Sector 36. What you see is further, it's the same continuation. Now this particular wetland is actually what we see now is half of what it was earlier. It was more than 10 hectares. It is now only half the size because further you see some development done. So there is a big, huge society called Valley Shilp, which was made on that. And there is some more construction which is being coming up right now by SIDCO. So last year we were given we were made aware by a few of the residents who were staying close by, and they informed us that there is some kind of development and some landfilling happening. There are a lot of trucks with soil. So when we went there, we found out that SIDCO was doing reclamation. And there, since me and Naresh were already in Raigad Wetland Documentation Committee, and we had documented all these wetlands and given the list, which is now with our district collector Raigad. So we knew about these wetlands as being protected and they cannot reclaim it. So immediately with all the documents we had, the paperwork and the list we had, we approached SIDCO, gave them the documents and made this work stop. So now we still keep a vigilance because you never know what they do. This work was stopped, and again they were given information, instruction that they cannot pass or throw mud in this wetland, and whatever work development plan they had in and around the periphery of the wetland and the periphery of the jail, they cannot come and encroach this, because if anything we see such thing, we will ask them to remove the soil from the wetland. So there is a continuous vigilance about this wetland. Again, this is a very sensitive area because as you saw the line, the water, it is in the line of water catchment area. The more the amount of rainfall from Taloja pond, it goes to Ganesh Ghat. From Ganesh Ghat, it comes here And from here, if it doesn't seek any respite, the rainwater comes out on the road. Because the further wetland has been choked, there is no way it goes further. This side also you see a lot of development. So whatever it goes underground, and there is a small nala attached. So the water flows there. But if there is a heavy rainfall, the water comes out on the road and there is problems for the residents also. So we make sure that nothing happens to this wetland for the safety of everybody. And also this is another habitat for birds. As we all know that every wetland is home for each species. Next slide now. So this blue, it's an Amarsak map. So you can see the green, till the green portion, the half of the wetland is still what is there present now. And the remaining half has been taken over by the construction. This was done in 2009 and 10. And below, the second slide shows us, this was the picture when they had just started reclaiming the land, when we got the information and we made them stop. And that's the article with the CIDCO executive engineer and their staff, with me and Naresh, when we made them stop the work. And then this was the awareness article given to the public around that we have to be vigilant and we have to see to it in the future that this thing is not repeated again. And if there is any, to give us the information. Next slide now. Now, after the fresh wetlands, this is the major wetland which I was talking about, the intertidal and coastal wetland. And it's a huge stretch which starts from sector 10 to 16 to 17 to 25 to 27 to 28 to village to Taloja Panchnanda. It is a CRZ1 area. It's crossed by a river, Taloja River. And there are a lot of mangroves in here other than intertidal wetlands and swampy areas. This is a continuation of the mangroves and wetlands right from Belapur to Vashi. So it is actually a huge stretch which follows up to Panvel and it goes towards Thane Creek. Because of development, there is a lot of fragmentation which has happened, which has occurred. What happened in the past, we can't do much. But what is there right now, we are trying to save. Ma'am, further, next slide. As I said, it falls under CRZ1. It's a scene grass because there is a river Taloja passing through, so making it very rich, very fertile. Grass and marshy intertidal zone with a lot of aquatic and nursery. You will see further the amount of biodiversity it holds. Ma'am, next slide. So this is just a few of those slides. There are many pictures of these. I can't load so many on them. So here you will see the combination of the mangroves, the grass, marshy areas. Next slide, ma'am. Just a few of the birds which are there. Almost 160 species and more. Every year we find a few more coming up. Some more birds liking these habitat, because maybe one of the reasons is there's too much destruction, there is habitat loss, and this is the place they're trying to find refuge in, something to hide them, something to roost, something for them to feed on. So there are almost 160 plus species of birds, out of which there are local and migratory birds. Hundreds of cormorants, terns, cranes. There are lots of monias, warblers, rosy-pied starlings, snipes, not the painted snipe, but the common snipe, the swine-horse snipe, harriers, ospreys, eagles, ducks, northern pin-tailed shovelers, garganets, teals, lots and lots of types of birds out here. It's a heaven for birders. We have a lot of birders coming in and around Bombay and Navi Mumbai to do birding here. It is also known as Kharghar bird watching area. Next slide now. Other than that, we have very rare. These at least seven species which are IUCN threatened, and we are so proud that we are a part of this habitat, where we see these rare species coming up and popping up, and sometimes they stay there for a long time, and we can see them very often, which is very unusual in other areas. And purple heron is so beautiful that further, and maybe in one of the slide I'll show you, but that slide I couldn't put. I didn't get time to find that slide. But if someone is they do want to visit Kharghar, you're most welcome. We can show you. It's a beautiful stretch of mangroves whereby these purple herons just keep popping up, and you can count how many of these, and there are like babies in those. It's a stretch of nursery for purple herons, and golden plovers, migratory birds like black-tailed godwits, greater flamingos, woolly neck stork. In fact, there are few godwits which stayed back here, which never went, and we could see them throughout the year. Painted stork. Woolly neck used to be there, but since 2 years we haven't seen them, but we used to see them very often earlier. Oriental darter we saw this time. Adjutant stork was there, lesser adjutant stork. Next slide now. And other than these birds, we also have mammals, golden jackals, lots and lots of golden jackals. In fact, we had a team of researchers coming over and checking it out whether we really have that many golden jackals in this area. And they were very happy to see so many scats and cut marks, prints of golden jackals around, which was very delighted. We were also very glad to see that these rare smooth-coated otters were there with us for almost 2 years, 2.5 years with us in Kharghar wetland in 16 and 25. And we could see them sometimes morning and evening in and around water, along with mongoose, which are in plenty. There are snakes like cobras, checkered keelback, buff keelback, rat snake, Russell's viper, not so much, more in the hills, but it's much less. Almost 18 species of butterflies. Moths still yet to study. We still have to study the insects and the vegetation parts. Next slide, ma'am. Oriental monitor lizard, lizards, skinks, garden lizards, turtles, freshwater turtles, red sliders. Maybe somebody has just dropped some pet. Next slide now. Now, as I told you earlier, that there are a lot of threats over here: debris dumping, illegal encroachment, land reclamation, because it is still under CITCO, and CITCO still doesn't want to give it up in spite of being under CRZ1 zone, in spite of heavily mangrove area, the wetland area with so much of wildlife. They still don't want to do it. They don't want to give it up. The second problem is the coastal road, which is now cutting through it. So that is another issue, other than the pollution which is coming from the sewage, from the MIDC, from the Taloja area, bootlegging with lots of locals coming in over there, and a lot of shacks and huts. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Saturday morning and Sunday morning, we go for birding. We can see lots of remains of the last night parties over there. And we've done a lot of complaints with the local police, with the authorities, but nothing yet about it. But yeah, some things were being taken care of, like certain sand mining, dumping, debris dumping. Sometimes they were actions were taken, but then again, regular action has to be taken. And because it is under CITCO, nothing much can be done directly unless CITCO has the zest to intervene. Next slide now. So this is one of the case study. This was clicked by me in 2017. This was on 11th November when we were celebrating the Bird Week. And Naresh and we both were together. We used to have a lot of flamingos. We saw these flamingos for the first time because I came in Kharghar in 2016. And 2017, I got introduced to this place. So it was the first time I saw these greater flamingos here. It's a habitat for greater flamingos. We've not seen lesser flamingos any time over here before. but there used to be numbers exceeding up 50, 60 plus earlier, but now it has reduced a lot. Now this particular patch, if you see, the first picture was the original habitat, which was a pond with a lot of greens vegetation. And during COVID, in 2 years, the for 1.5 year, when it was a very tight security, we were under house arrest, everyone. These people took advantage, and the first picture is that what you see in the first picture, the second picture is the same place, completely cleared vegetation, water was drained off. They set this generator on the CRZ1 zone. You cannot concretize or set anything on CRZ1, no commercial on CRZ1 zone. This is what is happening there. Aquaculture, the oxygen paddlers, and the aquaculture which is going on over there. We have complained to several departments, but still nothing is done about it yet. Next slide, ma'am. So other than that, we still continue. Our work has not stopped. We're still hoping that one day we will get some light of hope. So we still continue spreading our awareness, doing certain awareness programs, Flamingo Festival, cleanup drive, like with Mangrove Soldiers, Dharmesh Barai, who has helped us a lot with cleanup. He's got a huge troops of volunteers, of cleaners who do a cleanup drive with him regularly. So they come and help us out in cleaning the mangroves, which is loaded with glass, thermocol, all sorts of things, plastic, and we try to remove them out and at least clean up for the sake of the wild animals who are there, so that they don't get injured and fall sick. Next slide, ma'am. The two pictures belong to Naresh. The one with the cap is Tarang Sareen, and the other one is Naresh Chandra Singh, trying to send message that save our wetland, keep it clean. Next slide, ma'am. So this was our few pictures on the Flamingo Festival, which we did last year at DPS, and it was a huge success. We got a turn of the crowd footfall of almost around 2,500 people in one day. And the NMMC Commissioner, Mr. Abhijit Bangar, was very helpful, along with the principal of DPS, to give us the space and to give us the permission and give us all the support needed for the Flamingo Festival. Again, this year we were planning to do, but because of the extensive heat, we avoided it. And maybe next year, during the World Bird Migratory Day, we will plan out something. Next slide. Next slide. So this is a portion of the lost wetland, which was in Sector 14 and Sector 19. It is a big stretch, if you see. This was passed 4 years back. And in 2018-19, we had done a case, we had done a case against CITCO for Sector 19 wetland, which went on for 1.5 years. And apparently the bench changed and we lost our case, and it was called a frivolous case. And now this stretch is no more. It's all reclaimed. You will not see any wetland there. And there's a metro station and a lot of housing society come up there. Next slide, ma'am. So that was the part of our struggle with the Kharghar wetlands. Moving on to the Vadale and the Balaleshwar Lake, which started 2 years back, not with a struggle, but with education awareness. It was a beautiful lake with a lot of biodiversity and heritage and a history attached to it, because this particular lake is 400 years old, built by Peshwas, and it used to spread on a very large, it seems it on a very 50 or maybe 30 hectares or more. Some says 100, but now it is reduced to very small, around 5 to 10, 22 acres or so, very, very small. It runs along the highway of Mumbai Sand Panvel highway, and but still very beautiful, with lots of birds to see in the heart of the city, with surrounded with so much of societies and buildings around, and these birds enjoying the wetlands and this particular lake. So this is right now under PMC, Panvel Municipal Corporation. They are in charge of this lake, and 2 or 3 years back, we came to know the entire water was dredged out. They were desalinating it. They were desilting it, removing the soil, the silt, and in that process, they were removing a lot of vegetation, which would affect the birds. So that particular time, for the first time, we approached the municipal commissioner and we told him that there are a lot of birds which we are, recording and we are seeing. So if you want, we can help you out, because if there are things to be done in particular way, and we don't want the concretization to happen, and which would lose the habitat. So that followed up to a series of 2 years, which was not so threatening, till the time in last January, February, the PDF came to me saying that there will be a lot of laser light and laser work lights, LED lights going on with a lot of beautification, which was alarming for the bird life which is residing in the lake, because they're not just, unlike other place, and like Kharghar wetland, it is not just a place for roosting. There are birds which are nesting. There are babies inside. So you just can't say the lights, morning they are coming and evening they are going. There are babies who are staying there for good. So we need to take some precautions for their safety. And next slide. So, and this lake was also known for its lotus. There were a lot of lotuses, Nilambo nuciferas, grown over there, huge ones. Even now they have beautiful pink and white lotus, big ones, really big ones, where even yellow bittern hides under it and we can't trace it out. And it's a heaven for birders. Every Saturday, Sunday, there are loads and loads of birders around over there, coming from various parts of Mumbai, Thane, Dahisar, Santa Cruz, Andheri, even up from to Pune. They come and do birding over here. Why? I'll let you know about it. Next slide now. So, as I said, it's very rich in birds, a lot of aquatic vegetation. We still have to study that, and we have a team ready with our botanist, zoologist, herpetophonas, and we are doing a study with the permission from PMC now, after successful intervention of, after successfully stopping this beautification work. Butterflies and odonadas we still have to study, but there are reptiles like monitor lizard, rat snake, checkered keelback, puff keelback, turtles, red sliders, terrapins, fishes we don't know which are the varieties. And this slide. So almost 95 species of birds which are found, out of which some are very rare, like comb duck, which was seen after almost 10 to 12 years in Panvel. Cotton pygmy was seen 2 years back, and luckily it is still staying. It was not seen before. Painted snipe we saw this year, and we didn't even see, but they bred here. They had babies. They hatched 4 babies, beautiful babies, which you see in the picture. But unfortunately, on 1st May, they entered the water, and on 4th May, 2 of the babies disappeared. The reason being is the vegetation destruction. And on 5th, the father and the 2 other babies, they also disappeared. So unfortunately, we lost this family of painted snipe, but there are 2 more pairs of painted snipe, and one is already breeding there. So hopefully with this, what we have gained success, we might save the future of these birds and further. Next slide. So this is the kind of threat the Panvel biodiversity, the Panvel Vadale Lake was facing. The artificial beautification in the term of LED light, laser light, the floaters, which also has LED inside. The flowers also had LED, the butterflies and all. It's all complete with LED. The deer is backlit LED. The birds have got LED. So there is so much of lights in there. It's actually light pollution. It's a burst of light pollution, and it's not good for birds. No birds need light after sunset. It is known fact. Even a child knows that bird goes to sleep after sunset. So the administration taking up this was very, very disappointing for us. In spite of that they were having a biodiversity committee on board. They had founded under district advisory. They every district is supposed to have the biodiversity committee, and they too have one. So me and Sudeep Athavale, along with Mr. Bise, he is a very senior member of Citizen United Forum. We three went and met the commissioner, and we asked him that this kind of thing is going on. And there we came to know it is not going to go on, but it has already started. The work has already started, so they now can't stop it. And that was very disappointed for us, very frustrating for us. But then we requested them that these are the things which we cannot expect to do, and it is very threatening and very harmful for the birds and for the babies, because they can get killed. You see a boat down there, that's the vegetation being removed. So these kind of vegetation, they are surviving, they survive on that, they hide in that. If you remove everything, the whole habitat is lost. There's nothing for them, because they eat on most of the ducks and the birds. They eat these vegetation also for survival. So if there is nothing, the food is gone, the hideout is gone. So they can be either starved and killed, or they can be killed by predation. Both ways, their life is at stake. So all these things were going on. Next slide now. And can we go back? Yeah. So we, from February onwards, I started sending a lot of letters to all the department, right from Nagpur Biodiversity, Maharashtra State Biodiversity Board, Environment Ministers, PMC, everywhere possible. Forest Department, and Forest Department was the only department which really helped me in between, till I got the intervention from the Tehsildar and Collector's office, the district administrative collector. They were really helpful, and that day when we got the help from there, we were heard, and things stopped immediately. The deweeding, the vegetation removing was stopped. Then they came up to the conclusion, after speaking with the commissioner of municipal commissioner, Mr. Ganesh Deshmukh. We came up to the terms that the lights will be still there. They cannot remove the light, but a very low intensity light will be switched on a condition that when the birds go to sleep, they sleep on the island. There are certain sections of islands in the pond. So the birds usually go and sleep on the island. So the island will not be disturbed with the lights. Not good amount of water, reflection will be there in the water. So whatever lights you want to display on the walls or inside, it will be very, very dim, not affecting the birds outside. Whatever lights you want to put, you can put it on the promenade where the people are walking outside the lake. But whatever is happening with the lights, it should not disturb the birds, and the habitat should not be disturbed. They should not be removed. Me and Sudeep later on did a survey. We went with their technical staff, with their assistant engineer, with their contractor. We showed them how to do de-weeding and what are the things they need to check while de-weeding. There are eggs inside, there are nests, there are small babies. So they just can't take their hay and stake and remove everything at one go. They have to be carefully checking it out before, and leave the areas where the birds are nesting. Do not touch it, do not go close to it. So you de-weed the place, and the weeds which are really, really very invasive ones, touch only those. Do not touch the other ones, because they are the food for the birds, and they've been taken care by the birds itself. So you don't have to, the birds are actually doing your work of de-weeding, and the weeds are actually doing the work of filtration of water and everything. What they need to do is remove only the invasive one. Yes, the lake is very badly infested with hydrilla. There used to be pista also earlier, which they have managed to remove completely. But now it is very badly choked with hydrilla, which they are removing. And we are also giving them a list of the vegetations which are around, and the other list which we are doing, so that it will help them in future what to disturb and what not to disturb, and save the biodiversity of the lake. We'll be also conducting a bird awareness session with the staff, so that they also know what kind of birds are around, and they can also do birding, and maybe they can help the visitors identify and search the birds for them, and that will develop an interest in them, and slowly that will also get them closer to that. Bonding will be there with the birds and the biodiversity. We'll be also conducting sessions, awareness sessions with the next slide, with the locals, with the public. Now this is one of the picture which was clicked by one of the photographer, our friend Indranil Mukhopadhyay, and I liked it because it's an artificial beautification with a real beauty. So when I want to present it, I just want to ask people their view. What would they prefer? The butterfly or the kingfisher? What they would like to see more in future. So next slide, man. So these are the lots of articles articles which covered our work and our struggle about the lake. Next slide, ma'am. And one of the sad articles where the painted snipe went missing from the lake. Almost 30 to 40 birders visiting lake every Sunday. Ma'am, next slide. So this is the one in the center. In the second picture with me is Sudeep Athavale, who has been very active in helping me and giving me the information, because I stay in Kharghar and he stays very close to Panvel, to the lake. So he's the one who directed me to this and told me that this is what is happening, and we need to help this lake from being destroyed for good. Because I came in only in 2016, but he was the one who actually saw this lake as he was growing up as a child. So he was feeling really bad about it. And we went together, and luckily, with the grace of God and support from everybody, uh, Tehsildar, Stalin, Dayanand from Vanashakti, Clara is also on a group, Clara Korea. I believe most of you know about her. And she's the one who was actually helping us out with the study of vegetations and the biodiversity with her team. So all these people, we came up and the team is now formed, and we'll be working on this in future to enhance it, to restore it back, and to make it a little bit more lively. Let's see how it comes up. In the last slide is the assistant engineer of the PMC who had come with us for the survey. So we are planning to hold awareness education every weekend, most probably on Sundays for 2 hours, because even the PMC has certain problems with the people around, with cleanliness. There are, in fact, when we were there monitoring the lake, we ourselves saw 2-3 people coming up with bags full of bread and throwing it in the lake, feeding the fishes and the birds. It seems there are times they get stale bread, stale food, spoiled food. So what to do? They dump it in the water. So this is the problem even PMC face. So our public awareness lecture will be also conducted not only on biodiversity, but also on the hygiene, also on the do and the don'ts, on what to do with this, with the animals around, how to behave, everything which will help the biodiversity and PMC to maintain this lake. So hopefully this was our work, our effort to save the Kharghar and Panvel wetland, Vadale Lake. Ma'am, next slide. So thank you very much. And this is not the end of our struggle. I believe there's much more, but every day is a ray of hope, as we all say. So, and I would like to thank Naresh Chandra Singh, Tarang, Sareen, and Sudeep for the inputs they gave me and to present this. If you want to see more of these beautiful pictures, because I can't put everything here, but if you want to know more about these two places, Kharghar and Panvel, you can visit the Facebook page. For Panvel, it is Balaleshwar Lake, a blend of heritage and biodiversity, and Save the Kharghar Wetlands and Hills on Facebook, and you will see all our birders, all our members putting up the details about this place, the birds we see, the problems which are happening, regularly uploading it on the site. And I would thank my daughter Jyoti Nadkarni and my husband to put up this, because I'm not at all a technical person. I can't handle computer. I'm only good at fields and animals. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, madam. That was a very wonderful, presentation of the work that you're doing. And it's okay if you're not a technical, technology person. You're a woman of wetland, and that is what matters to us. When we are talking about Save Wetlands Campaign and all that, here we have a very wonderful example of how, through sheer determination and grit and hard work, you have managed to conserve two of the, at least one, the one which is more in news now, that you have conserved, and the other one is work in progress, and that will surely inspire a lot of people. uh, I think we should first take a group photograph before we break into a question answer session. Can I request Zulfia to do that, please? And I would request everyone to please put on your this videos. Can you please, everyone? We are still waiting for some people. Yeah. So as we break into the question answer session, I would request people to please raise your hand so that we can have questions one by one. So thank you very much. We can get to the question session, please. Yeah. There is one question, in the chat box that is already there by Vaishali Somani. If she's there, I don't think she's, or she had some connectivity problem. She informed me. So this Dr. Vaishali Somni is a professor at MD College, Parel. And she has requested, is it possible to have access to the list of wetlands recorded by Raigad Wetlands Documentation Committee? And if possible, she would definitely like to get involved and help out in the work that you're doing over there, because she is also a zoology person and has been working in the wetlands at Panvel also, as well as around Mumbai and Thane region. Yeah.
It would be very nice to connect to her, because she'll be also a very helpful resource person who can help us with the, since she is a zoologist person. But I will check that out with our team. And because, as you know, the listing is, the documentation is still on. So
Yeah.
I will check. But if she would like to know of records, which are the wetlands and where she can go and she can study, we can provide her the names.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. Any other question, please? We have people from across the country. We have people from the MP State Wetland Authority also. There were people from Wetland International who are also attending your presentation. And the Save Wetlands campaign, your presentation has been a real good one. There are, in the chat box, there are a lot of appreciation that are sent.
It
Yeah.
is teamwork, and it's all the effort of me and my team. And more people, the more we join, the more better for us, because it is, after all, a heritage. We have lived our life. It's our heritage for our future generation. What we have enjoyed, we have to give them that.
Yeah, there's a question from Visa Sadhan. Yeah, please, you can surely ask the question. You can unmute yourself and ask the question, please.
Good afternoon, good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Actually, my clock
Yeah.
shows 11:59, so I'm a bit confused. So
Same here.
it was a lovely presentation, ma'am. So I just wanted to bring certain things into picture. Like, it's absolutely great seeing you working on the biodiversity aspect. But when we're talking about the restoration of wetlands, there are a number of things that comes into picture. For example, the hydrological restoration. So if you see wetlands as a whole, so they are also now these days there is a lot of debate upon climate change and wetlands. How are these wetlands getting disturbed and what are the emissions, because these emissions not only increase the temperature of the global surface, but it also hampers the growth of the biodiversity. So I would just like to put forward my opinion that anytime if you need Wetlands International South Asia because we also conduct the Asia Waterbird Census, you must be aware of that Wetlands International South Asia leads the Asia Waterbird Census in the country. So we'd love to collaborate, and we would love to see what are the possible interventions and opportunities which we can join hands for. So great work, ma'am. And I think it's high time that there is a universal definition to the restoration of wetlands, because it's not only about biodiversity, but it's also about a number of aspects, because these days, everybody's talking about climate change mitigation, and we at Wetlands International do believe that wetlands have a very big role to play at it. So yes, ma'am, maybe we can connect sometime and we can see what can be done. Thank you.
Thank you so much. In fact, the South Asian, I think, avian community also did a count of birds few months back along with the PMC department, right?
Yes, ma'am. It's already like we are doing, like we collect. We have different stakeholders all in the different states. So we ourselves, it is not possible to go throughout the country, because we will definitely like to partner so that at least we have something on record of how many species and what's going on. So definitely we can connect up, ma'am.
Definitely, we'll be very We'll be very happy. We'll be delighted to have more team coming up and doing the research over here, because the more records we have, it will strengthen our fight to save this wetland.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Any other
Hello,
questions?
ma'am. Yeah, hello, ma'am. May I?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm Geeta from Ratnam College, Mumbai. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I heard about
Ma'am, your voice is cracking.
one particular type of wetland. Any other? I mean, I wanted to know of references or else any material. Yeah.
Ma'am, what
Now,
did you say? What particular type of wetland?
yeah, it's about coastal temporary water bodies at the time of monsoon, or else sometime when high tide is there, and some areas which will be wetland and it will be remain as wetland, and after some time, I mean, it is very fast, it is getting deteriorated nowadays. So regarding that, I have read somewhere, but now more study materials or else any references I'm not getting. If you have any idea, will you please share it through this platform?
Ma'am, sir will be in a better position. It's a huge team of researchers.
Yeah.
Sir, Golden Sir has come.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Ma'am, with that research.
This is I'm saying about something which is maybe 10-15 years back. I had gone through such kind of paper, and later on I was in search of that, because not many people had done it in that way. So but I felt that it should be coming under the wetland conservation. So I was as that's why I joined this session also, so that I can ask you people that whether is there any light for I mean, I can go for that.
I'm sorry, your voice was cracking, so I could not get your question completely.
Yeah, I shall then type it
If you
in
can
my
put
chat
in the
box.
chat box,
Yeah, I will put it
if
in
you're
the chat
looking
box.
for definitions or the methods that you can determine
Yeah,
wetlands and what are the
there are
characteristics, there is
huh,
this Wetlands Division Ministry MOEFCC has come out with the guidelines for aquatic ecosystems, and it is available online also. So you can
yeah.
just download that and you get a very good details. If it is any other question other than this, you can just put it on the chat box. I'll answer that.
Yeah, definitely. I'm going to put it in the chat box. Yeah.
There is one question from Bharti Tooth. Is the reclamation or construction activities only the reason for the deterioration of these wetlands, or any other factors like entry of chemical effluents, etc.? Yeah.
Yes, as I said, mentioned in the slide, the pollution, as I mentioned, the Taloja MIDC, Kharghar is very close to Taloja and MIDC area, and it is a highly vulnerable place. I mean, it's fully chemical zone area. You can't travel there, you can't stay there after 12 in the night and 1 in the night at times. And now, because there is our team, another team called KTCW, Kharghar Taloja Colony Welfare Association, who was very active in controlling this pollution which was coming from Kharghar and Taloja MIDC. But there is a lot of effluents which are being released through water, and chemicals and the other sewage things which are still being seen passing through the wetlands. And in fact, sometimes when we go birding, we see this the river water, Taloja River, and the creek water. It's like just foaming as somebody's just put buckets and buckets of detergent in it. We have complained to MPCB board. In fact, the entire team along with the other faculties had come and seen this, but we're still awaiting the reports. We haven't yet got the report. But yeah, this is one of the reason. Construction reclamation is one. Local intervention, aquaculture, local fishery is another reason. As I had mentioned in the slide earlier, they make bunds. So what they do is they stop the tidal water from one end. There are sluice gates and all. So they stop the water from one end. Then they open it when they feel like in the high tide or low tide. They control the tides. When they want to do some aquaculture, some fish farming, that's the time when they fill the water or they stop the water. They change the route of the water. The bunds are increased or reduced, so that affects the marsh, the wetlands a lot. And sometimes the condition, the habitats also gets destroyed till the time again the rain sets in and there is water all over and the nature takes control. The dry season is all controlled by humans. So that is another part of destruction caused to the wetland. So one of our another foresights will be, and we are actually looking to, is training or uh, getting our relationship or our bonding with the locals, especially the fishermen, and teaching them about sustainable farming, teaching them about the importance of the wetlands, how they can do their regular farming, fish farming, in a traditional, conventional way rather than those high-tech method or by destroying the nature, but in a traditional way. Both can live in harmony with nature. And what are the other importance of these wetlands? If they do it properly, it can also be an ecotourism place where they can learn birding, butterflies, about trees, and they can teach other people. That can be their income. They can act as a guide for the tourists who are coming there to see the habitat. So they can earn more revenue. So that revenue will help us to save that wetland.
I just wanted to know, can we treat the chemical effluents and the sewage and all before entering into the wetland? Even I think that can be helpful, isn't it? The drains and everything can be treated.
You can do a lot many things. We have a lot of policies. We have a lot of rules and regulation, but implementation is not there.
Yeah, that's what we are working with bioenzymes, and we have been getting successful results in treating wastewater and everything. So that was the reason why I asked you this question. If there are some effluents entering, can something be done? And integrally, like many different type of groups can join together and be able to carry on these activities so that the wetlands can be restored faster.
Yes, the more people there, the better.
Yeah. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
I would like to meet you sometime.
Definitely, ma'am. You're most welcome.
Yeah. There are a lot of queries if people could get your contact. So if you could put your email ID on the chat box, that would help people.
Sure.
So they could get in touch with you accordingly. Yeah, and I think Ms. Divya had asked about whether references are available for temporary coastal wetlands. Yes, there are a lot of studies that are done across the country as well as internationally where temporary coastal wetlands are studied, and they do, the temporary water bodies that are formed immediately after the rains or because of the peak spring high tide that happens, they do form they do come under the wetland definition, and they are wetlands, so they have to be conserved. Yeah. Any other question for Madam? There's something about Ramsar. I'll just check that. Yes. Yeah. Visa has also responded that such wetlands do fall under wetlands, and for reference, one could even see the definition given by Ramsar, uh, where it explains everything basically. Yeah. Anyone has a direct question for Madam? Yeah. Yes. I think everyone's done with the questions. And I have one slightly personal question for Jyoti Nadkarni. Madam, why did you take up to work for wetlands? There were many other causes that you were already working on. So why wetlands? What drove you closer to it?
Actually, me as a person, I'm a nature person. Um, my bonding is very close to nature. So anything to do with nature, I've got nothing as such, no limitation that I will only work for this or I will only work for this. Whatever is there, which is a part of the nature or which is not supposed to be done, which will destroy nature wherever I am, whether in India or abroad or any part of the country or world. If anything is going wrong in front of me, and if I can do something, I do it. So whether it is my plants, my animals, my birds, or whether it is waste segregation, which I do to keep the habitat and the environment clean. And wetlands is also another part which needed attention. And moreover, it is destiny. So if there is something in you, God has sent everybody with certain reason on this earth. Everybody has some or the other potential. Some work for children, some for old, some for a lot of other things.
Yeah. I must say you're wearing your cap well. There is another question, I think, from Swati. Yeah. You can ask the question, please. Hello, Swati. I see your hand raised up, or is it by mistake? I think it's done then. Probably there are no questions. So I'd ask Zulfia to take it ahead. No, it's come up again.
Sir, let's share about tomorrow's webinar also, sir.
Yeah, please do that. Yeah.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes, Swati has a question. Yeah.
Yeah, just I had put it on the chat also. Can we get, because I missed the initial part of this whole presentation by Jyoti. So is it possible for you to share a recorded video of this or
Yes,
an
yes, we
audio
will,
which we can listen to?
we will definitely share this video. Based on just share your email ID. We will share it across to you.
On the chat, shall I save my email ID?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do that. Yeah, just a moment. Then I need to do that before this call ends, right?
Yeah, we still have some time. Sure. No. You can put it on in the chat box. We'll get your email ID. Not an issue.
Okay. Thank you.
And this is going to be a talk for tomorrow in the Save Wetlands campaign. The topic is going to be World Heritage Dhamapur Lake challenges and solutions. And I would request everyone to be present again tomorrow and share it with your friends, and also that everyone can be a part of this campaign. So it's like this, we would be having Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday webinars continuously up to the 5th of June. So after tomorrow, there would be another session of 3 webinars in the next week, and then following the recording. Yeah.
Sachin, I would like to say Sachin was also very motivating us in this, and he has helped a lot during Kutuk Bandhan, Sector 36 wetland, when it was under trouble, and we needed all the records because, as you know, once we do the documentation, they are not with us. They are being submitted. So Sachin helped a lot in retrieving it back and giving me the details so I could present it to SIDCO so they can immediately stop the work. So Mohammed and Sachin were really very helpful those times.
Yeah. Yes, yeah. I'll hand it over to Zulfia for the next things. Yeah, please.
Thank you, madam. Now I request Mr. Mohammed Ibrahim to propose the vote of thanks.
Thank you so much, Ms. Jyoti ma'am, for accepting our invitation and agreeing for the webinar within a short duration. And it was a wonderful presentation. Thanks for sharing your knowledge and experiences on urban wetlands and its struggle for survival. A case study of Panvel and Kharghar with all of us. Indeed, it was a great pleasure for us, SACON EASCP, to host this webinar on one of the important topics. We are also thankful to our audience, whoever are with us patiently till the end of this webinar and clearing their doubts from the expert on the topic. The interaction part was indeed very informative. I would like to thank Wetland Division MOFCC for initiating this Save Wetland campaign. I would like to thank our Honorable Director, Sri Virendra R. Tiwari, Wildlife Institute of India, and Dr. Golden Quadras, SACON EACP Coordinator, for their support and guidance. Also, I thank our system admin for their technical assistance. Thank you all for your participation. Thank you. Thank you, madam.
Thank you so much. And thank you, Virendra sir, if you are there listening. I still keep harassing sometimes when I need some help and guidance from you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for inviting me
so
and
much,
giving me the opportunity to present this.
We had DFO Chakrata madam also. I don't know whether you had any questions, but we've just finished the session now, so we could have a talk later. Yeah. Thank you all for joining us, and yeah, it was good listening to Jyoti Nadkarni madam and having this wonderful interaction. Thank you so much. Yeah, we will share the messages, the recordings with the people who have requested for sure, and get back to you. Yeah. Thank you so much.
And also we will share tomorrow's link in chat box.
Yeah.
Who are willing, you can join tomorrow. See you tomorrow.
Hello, ma'am.